Hello, it's Mio and welcome to this Speedpaint video where I'll be drawing my two goat girl OCs, Lumi and Gaia. So it's been a hot minute since I drew these two girls, and whenever I draw them, I always draw them very serious and they're always very stone-faced without any emotion. So in this drawing I wanted to make it a little bit more lively in a way, with a little bit more expression in their faces. So I found this reference drawing that is a little bit dynamic because I wanted to also practice dynamic posing. And I do think that my version turned out a lot more stiff. And I can see a lot of the mistakes that I did during this process, and I did struggle a lot with the bodies. And also with drawing Gaia's face, like you can see here, I go a lot back and forth and try to kind of visualize how her side profile would be, because I've never really drawn her real side profile. You can never really see her nose or her mouth. But in the end, I feel like I kind of got it. She gets a little bit more of a curved nose, which I feel like fits her quite well, and also is a contrast to Lumi's nose, which is a little bit more of a like a slide that goes the opposite direction. I also noticed while drawing this drawing that I never really decided who is taller, and you can see me kind of struggle with that in all of the drawings. Like in the first one on the bottom right, which is the first drawing that I made, where they are gossiping, both Lumi and Gaia are the same height approximately. And then in the picture above, which is the more recent drawing I did of them, Lumi is the taller one. And then in this one, they are kind of bent over, so it's hard to say, but it kind of looks like Gaia is the taller one in this one. And I think through this drawing I have decided now officially that Gaia should be the taller one, because I just feel like she has that tall energy, and it just kind of feels more right that she is tall and has to look down on Lumi. The thing that I probably liked the most during this drawing was designing their clothes. And in this drawing I decided to give Gaia a different style of clothing, because before this she had this kind of a more ruffly cutesy style, as you can see more clearly in this drawing right here. But then both of the girls are wearing more ruffly cutesy clothes, and I didn't really like that all that much. And I also feel like she gives more of an elegant energy, so she got a more elegant shape this time, while still kind of keeping the essence of the previous style, and also have the chance of coloring it with the same colors and color scheme. And I decided that I wanted her to have these plant details that she had in her previous design, but in this time they were supposed to be in gold. Lumi's style did not really change. She got the exact same clothing, and the reason for that is that I just didn't feel like finding other clothes for her. I might redesign her outfits later. And also, kind of part of the story is that she doesn't really like her clothes. She doesn't like ruffles and stuff, and she would much rather wear pants. But because of her family, she's kind of put into this box and has to wear kind of what they say she has to wear. I went very minimal for the line art for this drawing. I just added line art for their faces, and then I tried to stay as lineless as possible after that. So I started with the lines for the face, and then I just colored in the rest of the features, like the hands and such. And I know the hands look goofy, we do not talk about the hands. And then I decided to add the flat colors and everything. So I started with the face, of course, and then I went with the hair, and then the horns, and then eventually the clothing. And I'm just adding the midtones of everything, so it's easier for me to shade on top of that afterwards. Then it is shading time, my favorite time, and I start with the faces because it's my favorite part of them all. And I first gave her like closed lips, but I decided to give her a little bit more of an open lip because I wanted to look a little bit more surprised and give her a little bit more expression in that face, although I do think I could have made her even more expressive. And I could also have made her posing a lot more dramatic to make her maybe even more surprised. But I am still kind of learning autonomy and stuff. I'm still pretty bad in my opinion, and especially posing and dynamic posing. So this is just how it's gonna be for now, and then hopefully in the future I can do better. And I also almost spent 5 hours on this drawing, which is probably the most that I have done in a while, except for maybe the wolves and the girl drawing that I did recently. That took me a long time because of all the wolves. But I usually don't use this much time on just a normal character drawing because I tend to draw quite quickly. But I just struggled a lot with almost everything, like with the outfit, with the posing, with the hands. Mostly the posing though. Anything but the shading, really. Talking about shading, here I'm shading the hands. They turned out terrible, so we're not gonna look at them. And then here's the face. That one turned out a lot better, and she also got her little freckles and her white eyelashes. Although I'm not sure white eyelashes were really a good idea for this drawing, because when it is a drawing where you show the whole body, you're not gonna see the eyelashes all that well, and it's just gonna look kind of weird. While drawing her dress, I also fixed a little bit of the shape, mostly on top because it didn't really make all that much sense. So while I was shading it, I just realized it's better to just chop off some of that chest of hers because it wasn't really making sense, and make her look a little bit more realistic. And then I did her little apron thingy, which I quite enjoyed. And then I did the gold details and the eyes. And then we are soon coming to an end. I just did a quick background in the garden, which is always where they meet apparently, because I always draw them in a garden. And then that's pretty much it. Here is the final result of the Faun girls. I'm not a huge fan of this drawing, and I think I've done better, but it might just be because I've been looking at this drawing for so long. Thank you so much for watching today's video. If you liked these Faun girls and want to see a better drawing, I have a drawing that I did about a year ago that I think is quite nice. Again, thanks for watching this video, and I'll see you again next week. Goodbye.